A year ago, a little girl living in an orphanage in the Ukraine had no idea a family in Utah was racing to save her from a tragic fate. Now their lives have all been blessed in ways no one could have imagined. It was this picture of Mia that began a remarkable journey for the Cox family. Chris and Kecia Cox knew they had to save her, and they didn't have much time.
I'll never forget the way her eyes just pierced my heart and my soul, and I just knew that she was calling for us.
Kecia Cox had never really considered adoption until she found Mia's picture on the website Reese's Rainbow. The International Orphan Ministry places children with special needs. Mia's parents gave her up when they found out she had Down syndrome. She lived tucked away and forgotten in this orphanage.
They never looked back, they never visited her.
Mia rarely went outside and spent most of her days in a playpen packed with children.
They weren't let out to play, they just sat there.
And since Mia had just turned 4, she now faced the possibility of moving to an adult mental institution if the orphanage ran out of room.
Yeah, by far worse situation than what she was in at the orphanage.
Chris and Kecia recognized Mia's potential because their third daughter, Bree, also has Down syndrome. They started the paperwork. Family and friends helped fundraise. Their girls also pitched in, and 5 months later, Chris and Kecia were headed to the Ukraine.
Just were nervous, like, what if we don't recognize her? What if, you don't feel that connection when we meet her? What if she turns around and screams and hates us? And so Chris was really nervous.
But then these moments. Instant connections between a girl and the strangers she would call Mom and Dad for the rest of her life.
Papa? Yeah. And it was amazing to see her. And it made everything just calm down. And the whole morning was just, a blur at that point.
All he kept saying was, she's so pretty, and she just was so sweet.
And when it came time to introduce her to her new sisters back home, it was hard to imagine they hadn't been sisters since birth. In her new home, surrounded by the love of her new family, Mia quickly transformed from the shy, lost girl in the picture into a vibrant, happy child. Every day now filled with ordinary discoveries, magical to her.
Things that we take for granted. I mean, she hadn't been outside in the evening and seen stars at her birthday, and all the attention's on her, and she's just never had that, and it just made us so appreciative for everything we have.
How many is it? And Mia wasn't the only miracle. A few weeks after they returned with Mia, Kecia discovered she was pregnant with twins.
So we doubled our family in 10 months. We went from 3 kids to 6 kids.
But with great difficulty. The twins required a life-saving surgery in the womb, and Kecia had to stay on complete bed rest for months.
3 of our children would not be here with us if it wasn't for family and friends and strangers. Through Mia's adoption.
Looking back, it's still hard for them to believe all the many miracles that fell into place to create their family.
Life's different, but it's been great. They make it fun.
And Chris and Kecia look forward to seeing where the adventure leads next. Isn't that wonderful?